Tam Talks explores life, spirituality, and general weirdness through quirky storytelling and laughter, lighting you up in your life journey. Let's go!
Oh, hi everybody, Tamiah here. Welcome to another episode of Tam Talks. So, from the car, I'm on location. I just love, now that the weather's nice, I thought about this. Let's just go out and do my podcast episodes in random spots. Because why not? Because I can. So, I want to talk about this one, and I'm surprised I had it on my list of episodes to do, but I didn't. And I don't know, it's interesting. It's been a year since I rolled out my first book. So, it's called Unveiling Enough, a woman's journey to embracing her worthiness, something like that. Oh my gosh, I should probably know that. Unveiling enough, that's the important part. So I knew there's a little squirrel, he's so cute. He's carrying a little walnut and he's under the car, I think. Anyways, so this book, I always knew I had a book in me, and I always knew that I wanted to write a book, but I wasn't sure what I was going to write about, when I was going to do it, any of those details. And I believe it was the summer of 2023. Yes, it was. So it was August, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to start writing. Just do it. Just start writing. So I remember getting my laptop out and sitting out front of my house in my little egg chair and opening up a document. I didn't name it yet, and I just started writing. And I can't remember, honestly, if I knew I was writing about my journey with worthiness or I had just started writing. Oh, you know what triggered it? This is a cool little story. What triggered it was the Barbie movie. Believe it or not, the Barbie movie, there was this speech by America Ferrera, her character, and it was all about women and how, sometimes we're too much and sometimes we're not enough, and we've got to be career women, but we've got to be good moms. And it was this epic speech. So you've got to look it up and just read the speech. I quoted it in my book, and listening to that, and oh my word, and the whole message of the movie, everything about it, it made something click. So that was actually the trigger point for me to start writing my book, which is so cool. So there goes another, two squirrels, they just ran by. Squirrel! Anyways, so I had watched that movie. I think I actually saw it 3 times because I went with people who I worked with, and then I went with my family, and then I went with someone else. I'm sorry, I can't remember who, but I know I saw it 3 times in theater. So anyways, so I start writing. I just wrote. I wrote. I didn't worry about paragraphs. I did kind of worry about spelling and grammar because that's just who I am. I can't just write and then go back. I still had a ton of errors that I had to go back and edit, but for the most part, I kind of edited as I went. And I just kept writing, and it took, I believe I finished the end of November or the beginning of December. And what I did was I pulled a couple of books off my shelf that I loved. It was Jay Shetty, I think it was Think Like a Monk, and then Rachel Hollis, one of her books. And I looked at kind of the size of the book and the dimensions, and then I Googled to see how many words it was, because I'm I don't know how much to write. I don't know. Ridiculous. So I found out that both of those books were about 60,000 words. So I knew in my head, okay, that's what I've got to do. I did not research anything, do anything until I just wrote, and I kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And I wrote and finished. And once I finished, then I started going, okay, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to do, am I going to self-publish? And I met with a couple people, and I picked Robin York from Beach Reads. I love her. She was so patient because I'm okay, how do I? So she connected me with another lovely lady who I met with at our local coffee shop, and she gave me so much information. It was so wonderful. I had these amazing people, but I still had these really big decisions to make. Self-publishing versus going with independent publishers versus trying with the big 5 publishers. But now you need an agent. So what is, getting an agent, what does that look like? And I connected with other couple local authors. And anyways, in the midst of all that, I had a friend of mine give me a referral. She saw this, I don't know if she was part of like this networking group or something, but it was a contest. And if you won this contest, you would win a self-publishing package, worth $5,000. She's like, you should just put it in, just see. And I'm like, okay. And I think before that came up, I think I sent it into one independent publisher to see, but the whole process, honestly, I think is rude. So you can put your book out to indie publishers. There's hybrid publishers, there's like basically these people who are like book coaches. So you pay them a butt ton of money to do all the stuff that you would hustle and do on your own for self-publishing. Like there's so many, it's actually pretty smarmy. I don't love it. So I had sent out, that was the point. That's where I was going. So you can send your manuscript out. They can take up to, I can't remember. It depends, but mostly it's like 8 to 12 weeks for them to accept it or not. A lot of times they put in writing, we will only contact you if we are interested. So you're telling me you can take the time to read this excerpt, and they're very specific. Like you've got to do, a couple, whatever. You've got to pull these different, it depends on the publisher. So you've got to put a little bit of work into this, and you've got to do like a cover letter, and you've got to do all these things, yet they can't send an email to say, thanks, but no thanks, we're going to pass. No, they can just leave it. Like it's, anyways. So in my head, I put it out to a couple, and then I debated about looking for an agent and going, like trying to do with the big ones. And then, but that's when this contest opportunity dropped in. So I thought, okay, well, let's go for it. So I submitted to this contest. It's basically a popularity contest, if I'm honest. You've got to put your excerpt, you've got to put your bio, all that crap on their website. But what it comes down to is number of votes. So I emailed like everybody in my contacts. I'm just like, okay, hey guys, I'm trying to win this self-publishing contest because it includes like editing and cover design and book coaching. So you know how to market it, like all of this cool stuff. And I'm like, ooh, that's amazing. Like that's what I need. So, and I think it was over a couple of months, and then they extended the deadline. Anyways, whatever. So, and it was up in Richmond Hill. So, so I had just emailed people and I was like, cool, if you guys are able to, please vote for me. I put it on my social media, pumped it out that way. And I was like, vote for me, blah, blah, blah. So I freaking won it. Shout out to all my peeps. You guys are amazing. Because I have such a great network. So I won this package. And it was funny because I attended, it was like a networking, well, it wasn't really networking. There were people who did talks. It was actually a really cool event. But I didn't really have anybody that I went with. So one woman thankfully was like, I'm going to take your picture. I'm like, oh, thank you. Otherwise I wouldn't have had documentation, but I had a nice visit with my Aunt Donna, who's up in Unionville before it. So that was kind of cool. And I had a whole funny story of, oh gosh, I wonder if I ever even did an episode on this, but whatever. I had a funny wardrobe thing on the way up, but anyways, that's another story for another time. So yes, I win the contest. They're like, okay, we'll be in touch, blah, blah, blah. I've meanwhile got everything ready to go. I'm just like, I just need their editors to do a once over, because I think like I read it through because I broke it into chapters. I gave titles. I did quotes at the beginning. I knew that my cover was going to be a certain, when I went to Bali, we did the Ubud swing, and you had these big, beautiful dresses that you could rent. And then we took nice photos. So I thought, oh, that'll be a really cool cover. So my cover was already designed. It was just a matter of slapping it all together. So anyways, finally they reach out. I'm like bugging them going, okay, are we going to do this? Because I think that was in September that they announced it. And I believe it was January by the time they got back to me. Anyways, so I send it off. They've got their editing. They send it back to me to proof. Remember, I have no idea about cover font size. I haven't researched that because I've won this contest where these people are doing all of that for me. No. So you get 50 copies of it. So I'd give it a once over, but I'm like, I'm not going to read this whole book because they have their editors. Like they had a team, they said, of editors who would go through the editing specifically for grammar. No. And layout, like they know what they're doing for layout. So anyways, I get a soft copy to look over. Well, we all know that's useless because you can't know what the font size is. So not only they're like, okay, everything's ready to go. We're going to print, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I look at the formatting of, I think it was like the chapter list or something. And it was all messed up. And I'm like, what? It didn't look like this when I sent it to you. Why does it look like this? Like they put all the... So they corrected that, thankfully, and then we were good to go. And then they gave me this like snarky email, like, okay, there's no more changes. You can't ask for changes after this. And I snarked back and I'm like, that isn't my change. That was a you change that you did to my document. So I'm just calling you out on your crap. Anyway, so I'm so excited and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do video and do the unboxing and all of that. Well, the box arrives, and remember when I started writing, I had this vision of this thick book, like Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I had the specific size and just this view. I open up the box. It's this thin book. It was about the right size, but it was thin. And I'm like, what? I open it up. The font is tiny. I guess they didn't want to spend the money on normal font and they were cheaping out, so they made the font small. I flip it over on the back and like the description at the back, I can't remember the font size. It was something ridiculous, like 5 point or 6 point. I'm like, what? So, maybe in future they would say, limit it to X amount of characters so that it's a normal font. I tried to make the best of it because it's me. And I was like, oh my gosh, and this is my book in my hands and it's great. But I sat with it and it was frustrating because I went to a network. It was like a women in business show. And I sold some copies, but I gave some to people within like my network who were part of that show. Like we all went with the group. And then afterwards, I was like, well, let me just read through. I found all of these grammatical and just crappy, not all of these, but there were a few. And I was like, oh my gosh. Some of them I feel weren't mine. And I went back and checked and I was like, are you kidding me? So I made the executive decision to go through the book with a fine-tooth comb. And I did that, and then I could order my own. I learned how to upload to Amazon so that it would print on demand. I got it on Amazon because they sent, and their coaching was not, they emailed some documents. How to market your book. Here's how to upload it to Amazon. Here are these files. Oh, and then, oh God. Anyways, so I started editing. I read through the whole 60,000 words. And did my own edits. And then when I'm like, okay, I think that's good, then I reordered a copy. The back cover, I asked, thankfully, a friend of mine works in graphic design. So I asked him, I was like, can you fix the font on the back of this or do something? So I paid him, he gave me a great deal. I paid him to fix the back of that so that it looked better. Oh my God, what a disaster. So every time I got a copy, I would like read through it again just to make sure it was perfect. Because I'm very, like, if I read someone's book and I see a typo, I'm like, come on. Like, I don't like typos. So, and here I am. I don't know how many copies were out there. Probably about 15 copies of that shit copy. And, oh gosh. Oh, I wonder. I don't think I ever swore on here before. Anyway, sorry. So, anyways, 7th version of me like receiving, oh gosh, the proof from Amazon. The 7th one, I'm like, this is it. Like, I don't think I found any typos, any grammatical errors, all of that. It looked good. So that was my final. And also I fixed the font size because so then it's actually a nice thick book. Oh my gosh. And then it was how I loved it. I was so happy with that. So once I got that fixed, then I mapped out, I'm trying to think because I wrote it in 2023. I think the contest must have been in 2024 because I did, yes, that's right. So then my book launch, I planned a virtual one in April and my Amazon. So then, oh my gosh, there was a whole thing on how you hit the Amazon bestseller list, which I knew from before. So I had done my research to see, okay, could I actually hit the Amazon bestseller list? So I did my book. I can't remember what I did first. No, I launched it and did like a virtual launch in April. And then I held my in-person book launch in May, which was so lovely. Suzanne and Dan from Kingfisher Cafe. Suzanne's a dear friend of mine. And they're the owners of the cafe. So they were like, yes, we would love to host you here. And like, oh my gosh, they gave me this big, beautiful bouquet of flowers. My friend Danette brought this big, beautiful bouquet. My mom brought like, oh my gosh, the support. And it was so beautiful. But before that, so the virtual, it was like dear friends of mine who were out of town who came on the Zoom with me to basically just, you know, like celebrate the book launch. And I talked about it. I did some answered questions, all of that. I did the same thing at the in-person one. But the cool part was I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and hit that Amazon bestseller list. So I asked everybody. I think it was before the book launch. I had emailed everybody again and said, and put this on social media. And I'm like, please, I'm pretty sure it was April 7th, 2025. If you have any intention or you would like to buy my book on Amazon, if you can do it on April 7th, I would deeply appreciate it. I'm trying to hit the Amazon bestseller list because then you've got like a little badge and you can say like, I was an Amazon bestseller. If I didn't hit it, cool. But if I didn't try, like, why not just try? So anyways, I pumped everybody up. I reminded people, probably annoyingly. Thank you guys all who supported me. I just friggin' love it. Oh my God. So anyways, I woke up that morning and I knew the whole day I'm just like, nope, this is Amazon bestseller day. So I just watched. Also, my book is at local bookstores. I know a lot of people are anti-Amazon. But as far as publishing and self-publishing and writers go, Amazon's the place to be. But my book is in person at Beach Reads bookstore here in Port Dover. It's over at the Fox and the Firefly and Fox, in Simcoe, which is attached to Kingfisher Cafe. Thank you. And then also Sarah, my friend who owns a yoga studio in Simcoe, it's at Seiza as well. You can purchase it there. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else. Anyways, so I watched, and you have to like keep refreshing. So when you upload your book to Amazon, there's all these different categories and then subcategories. So there is a bit of like a science to it because if you like, obviously self-help, that's what mine would go under, in memoir, and then you could get more specific. So you have to watch all of those lists in like Canada and US, and you basically just keep refreshing all day to see like, have I hit it yet? And it gives you a ranking. So it shows you like, okay, currently number 899 or 2000. So I was taking screenshots. It's quite the journey. Actually, I'm going to do like a little bit of a post. I don't think I ever, anyways, just to show that journey, because watching it all day and watching the rankings. So I can't remember what time it was, but there's like this special spot within the Amazon kind of listing where there's like, new and upcoming where you can get featured in addition. So it's basically has to do with the velocity. So it's not the number of book sales, which is what I thought it was before I did the research and found out. It's the velocity. So even if you have 50 people who all buy your book within the same, 10-hour period, Amazon's like, ooh, look at the momentum. It's more of like that percentage of people buying it or whatever it is. So I sat there and watched it, and I remember it was, I think it was Mel Robbins' Let Them theory is number one. I don't know, it's probably not now, but it was number one for so long. And so I'm watching it and I'm just like, oh yeah, no, this isn't going to happen. It's Mel Robbins' Let Them theory. But I did hit that cool little like panel where it was like, oh, up and coming or new and something. I don't know what the frick it's called. So yeah, it was a fantastic journey. And I went to bed, I think it was about 11 or something like that. And I thought I'll just check it one more time. I hit refresh and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm number one. And my mom was just letting the dog out. The boys, I think, were, I don't know if they were getting ready for bed or they're in their rooms or something. And I'm like, guys, I did it. I hit it. And I think I hit it in 2 categories. And then like all the categories I was in, it bumped up. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was such a rush. Number 1. So I got the like Amazon bestseller. Yes, I stole Mel Robbins' spot for a few hours or a few days. I can't remember when the next day I woke up and checked it. It was still there. I was still there. I can't remember if it was later that afternoon or if it was like a couple days that I held it. But either way, I was so happy. But yeah, so anyways, that's my journey with writing my book. And yeah, I'm up on the 1-year anniversary here. So if you have any interest and you want to read my book, of course, I've grown a lot since then too. I think it's been 3 years since I wrote it. And some of the stuff I think, oh God, should I have shared that? But whatever, gotta be me, right? It's life, it's authentic, it's real. And I rewrote my big wrap up, my conclusion. I rewrote that Barbie speech because I was almost stuck. I'm like, how am I going to wrap this up? And that hit me through meditation, I think it was, or the shower, whatever. And I thought, oh, I'm going to rewrite that from the perspective of worthiness. And it's beautiful. Like I love it. So anyways, check it out. It's called Unveiling Enough. It's on Amazon. I always have physical copies if you're close, or some of the places that I named if you want to go in and purchase it from them. Anything that you want. So anyways, there's my story with writing my first book. And for those of you who supported me in that journey, all of you, thank you so much. I think it was probably as exciting just feeling that love and the people who came to celebrate, and they drove like hours to come and be with me. It means the world. And all of the people who just, shared stuff for me and asked others, like, here, vote, and bought my book and continued to support. So thank you guys so much. It was such a beautiful journey, and it wouldn't have been possible without everybody. Yeah. All right. So until next time, peace out.
Thanks for hanging out and listening to my wild and wacky Tam Talks. Follow Tam Talks to be notified of new episodes. Peace out.